Probably unsurprisingly, one of the most common things that I hear from new clients is, I have no control around food. And they really, really believe this. And if this is something that you can resonate with, and you recognize that having this picture of yourself as someone that doesn't have control around food in itself is actually in part keeping you stuck, if that resonates with you, then this video is for you. I was under the impression for a very long time that I did certain things and behaved in certain ways, and therefore I believed that I did certain things or behave in certain ways. What I came to understand was that actually, in a lot of cases, it can start to become the other way around. What I mean by that is, perhaps you do the things that you do because you have certain beliefs about yourself. Let's say there are two women. They are absolutely identical in every single way. They're the same person, their same background, their same education, their same IQ. Everything is exactly the same. And both of them, both versions, really want to have their own business. Really, really want to have their own business. What they want most in the world. They differ in one way. The only way they differ is that one believes with absolute certainty that they are perfectly capable of having a business, perfectly deserving of running a business, and the other person has doubts that they can actually be successful at running a business. They don't fully believe that they're capable. They are identical in every single way. This is relevant to food, I promise. Bear with me. So which one of these versions in the future most likely runs a business, a successful business, and which one doesn't? Beliefs that we hold about ourselves which hold us back, which keep us limited, which we think are facts, but they're not. Their beliefs are called limiting beliefs. And this belief, because make no mistake, it is a belief of I have no control around food, I would put into the category of limiting belief. Not fact, feels like a fact, seems to be a lot of evidence for it, but it's not a fact, it's a belief. What if, in part, it's having this limiting belief of I have no control around food that is factoring in and driving your binge eating or overeating or disinhibited eating behaviors rather than the other way around? I wonder if, I'll pose this to you, if you woke up tomorrow exactly the same, you're the same in every other way, except now you have the very certain belief of I have total healthy control around food. Perfectly healthy control around food. I feel okay about knowing when to eat, when not to eat, about I can either honor a craving or not honor a craving. It's just not a big deal. I have perfect healthy control around food. Do you think that your behavior and your feelings when you're around food or certain types of food would then be different as a consequence? This isn't personal advice to you because I haven't personally assessed you. I'm just talking in general terms. So do pick and choose what you believe is relevant to you from this video. One of the first mistakes that I see clients often make, maybe you'll resonate with this, is confusing a difficult choice to make with having no choice. What I mean by that is, let's say that you are having a very intense craving, and because you have an intense craving, you tell yourself, or you have this sense of, I don't have a choice but to honor it, this is out of my control, when in fact I would argue that a far more objective standpoint is, I have a very, very intense craving, a very strong urge, which would make it difficult to walk away. Nevertheless, this is a choice that I am making. Whether to honor the craving or not, that is a choice. Doesn't make it easy. Another mistake that I often see clients make is, I think we've all heard this advice by now, is, okay, you've got a craving or an urge to binge eat, so run yourself a bath or call a friend or go for a walk, which can, I definitely misconstrue this as distract yourself. Distract yourself from the intense craving, distract yourself from the urge to emotionally eat, distract yourself from a binge. And I found this when I was struggling with binge eating to be the most frustrating advice on the planet, because it didn't do anything for the fact that I still had these urges and still felt overwhelmed and stressed and essentially still out of control around food, but now just trying to use willpower to deal with the problem. I don't think that simply trying to distract from unhelpful urges helps us to view ourselves as people who are in perfect healthy control around food. So I'll hopefully save you some time with this. This is something which clients find unbelievably helpful the vast majority of the time, is they first approach these unhelpful urges by thinking, this isn't particularly helpful, I'm choosing to do it anyway, and taking their power back because of that. And then they often walk then into, this isn't going to be a very helpful thing to do. It would be more helpful for me to do X for myself. And I'm choosing to eat anyway, or I'm choosing to restrict anyway. It starts to reframe it into, well, actually, I am constantly making choices about food. And sometimes those choices are helpful, and sometimes those choices are unhelpful, and that's absolutely fine. But what I always do have is a choice. And I think from that foundation, then comes the opportunity to be able to create real change. I'm having this unhelpful urge to do something unhelpful. It would be more helpful for me to do X. So I'm going to do X. And then if I still have the unhelpful urge, well, I can honor that. I can choose to honor that or not. And then clients will often move from there to, this wouldn't be very helpful to do. It would be more helpful to do X. I'm going to do that. And if I still want to eat the food after or do the unhelpful behavior afterwards, then I can, and that'll be my decision and that'll be my choice. And then they'll often move from that to, it won't be very helpful to do this, even though part of me wants to. It would be more helpful to do this. I'm going to do that. And this time I'm actually going to choose, not force, but I'm going to choose to not do the unhelpful behavior afterwards. My clients don't stop emotionally eating or binge eating because they gain more willpower. They stop emotionally eating or binge eating because we walk through it in a step-by-step way that allows them to build up trust in themselves, that allows them to change the story of who they are, to start seeing themselves in new ways. And when they can start to see themselves in new ways and have more trust and have their sense of power back, that then starts to reflect in their behavior. We love to act in accordance with the beliefs that we hold about ourselves. I can imagine that you will need to understand your emotional uses of food, yours personally, and your urges, your binge eating urges, and what their drivers are, and your cravings. You will probably need to do the reframe, the effective reframe, into really feeling like you have a choice in the moment and you can feel yourself making a choice in the moment, whether it's helpful or unhelpful. And I can imagine that you also, most importantly, really need to know what the helpful things to start doing, to start building in, are for you specifically, because they're different for all of us. But I'm very confident that you can bring Nutella into the house, bring peanut butter into the house, and enjoy a few tablespoons throughout the week, because you feel in total healthy control around that food. You can absolutely do all of that on your own with your own reflection and exploration. I did. If you'd like someone to go through it with you that can be more objective and has a good understanding of the things to look out for and to simplify that down for you and make it a quicker process, then I'm also here. You're welcome to book in a discovery call if you want to discuss that further. For now, thank you so much for watching, lovelies, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.